Wait, they made a video on this? I saw this person talking about it on Twitter. I didn't know they made a video though. Okay, yes, we'll definitely check this one out. What's the one you've got here?
コンサイダリングダンクプッツメイドア DIYPS5 Are you sure you don't wanna reach out for a tech over tea?
Oh no, I would love to have Dank Pods on. No, I should reach out at some point. I would love to have him on. No problem whatsoever there. She was the only one who solved the sea disillusion thing, by the way. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I merged every YouTube thumbnail.
I wrote a program that takes every thumbnail from a YouTube channel of your choosing and blends them into one image. Stick around if you want to see what it does with your favorite channels, but here's...
I want to see what it does with my channel. I have an idea of what it would do to my channel.
Went down. Have you ever seen a keypad with a few of the numbers rubbed off, or a keyboard with the same problem? Maybe even a statue where the aging has been hindered in specific areas. The keypad can show us that your password is just 1234. The keyboard can prove that you play a bit too many video games. But the statues, even dogs made of bronze deserve pats, okay? So why am I talking about this in a video about thumbnails? Well, when I started making this video, I was trying to see what kind of details YouTubers use the most in their thumbnails. With any amount of time on the platform, as long as you aren't
the script is on GitHub?
Watching
Ooh,
shorts,
I'll have to check it out then.
That every channel seems to have its own style of thumbnail, like Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Seems to have its own style.
Have you watched this channel before? I don't recognize the name Emnison. Oh! No, we did watch this. Oh, we watched this one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. 10 months ago we watched a video. Wait, it was 10 months between videos. Okay.
Style of thumbnail, like Mr. Beast.
That's a fucking
or Game
insane
Theory,
thumbnail.
or maybe even a channel like Kurskaza.
No one knows how to say it. Kurzgesgaga.
Kurzgesagt.
Yeah, exactly that.
Kurzgesagt have completely different styles to fit their content in particular. So what do they put in
Why does this person look different but sound different? What the fuck does that sentence mean? What the fuck? What a fucking stupid sentence.
their thumbnails the most?
The fentanyl video. I remember when this one came out, people were losing their mind. People were losing their mind when the fentanyl video came out. They're like, oh my god, why are you promoting the use of fentanyl?
Well, we could just manually stack them and see what details come out on top. So, layering 5 of them in Photoshop, all with 50% opacity, wasn't enough. Not only did it barely show that there's usually text on top with an image on the bottom, which was already pretty obvious, I had to manually download and layer each one. I wanted to not only do it efficiently, but come up with a result like what you saw in the thumbnail of this video. And to do that, I was gonna have to learn Python. Python, being a programming language, was definitely going to be difficult to learn. But with some HTML...
No, it's Python. It's not Python's not... The difficult part is working out how to do this. The Python part's fairly easy.
And CSS knowledge in the back of my brain somewhere, I figured I would at least give it a try. Now, I know better than to bore you with details of code in a YouTube video, so I'm just going to give you a quick rundown that even me 6 months ago
Nothing but code!
So I use this thing called YTDLP, which can download YouTube thumbnails to do so with every thumbnail from any channel. Every YouTube channel has an ID, and if you replace the C in this link with a U, you get a hidden playlist with every single one of their videos.
What? Wait. I did not know that.
When I define the IDs and how many videos to scrape for each channel, the program will go through that process.
Is that the RSS feed URL? It might be.
And then blend them.
One moment. Boneless chicken.
The other super important library I used was NumPy, which is needed to blend the thumbnails together, but I can feel your attention span crumbling as we speak, so
more tech!
let's look at some results. Boom. Yeah, my first attempts were kind of bad. When I tried to download thumbnails, it also threw in a bunch of random frames from a bunch of random YouTube shorts. So I added a minimum video length, but after trying to combine a lot more thumbnails at once, this happened. So I added a crop function and made sure that every thumbnail was the same size. And even though that wasn't the last of my coding problems, I started to find what kind of secrets YouTubers hide in their thumbnails. But before I show you the results, which I'm sure you're going to want to see, I need you to go down and hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and knowing my upload schedule and the amount of time it takes to make these videos, this might be one of my last chances to ask you before 2026.
This is
so,
I wouldn't call this a schedule, but sure.
Good. Throughout the course of this project, I ended up blending about 32 different channels' thumbnails into 32
I can imagine exactly how Charlie's gonna look.
Different merged thumbnails. They all had unique looks, but I was able to sort them into 5 different categories depending on how well they used brightness, faces, symbols and shapes, text, or logos. The idea with recurring brightness levels is that any given channel will have a specific area in their thumbnail where the brightest images reside, and to my surprise, out of
assuming that you know how to make thumbnails well, and I'm not great at them, I kind of just wing it.
32 different channels, there was only one that had a prominent example of this. And of course, it was Kurzgesagt. After blending together every single one of their thumbnails, I was able to see a pretty obvious vignette, which draws the eye into the center subject. You can also see that they pretty much always put text right here, and something I found interesting was that the average color in the darker areas of their thumbnails turned out to be purple. Traditionally, if by any color, darkness is represented by purple, and on a channel where every thumbnail uses highly saturated colors, it's understandable that instead of using black to represent darkness, they choose purple. Okay, now can we please stop talking about this channel? I'm tired of having to pronounce their name. One of the first things you might notice about thumbnails on YouTube is that they often have—
oh my god, this fucking— I don't think people even remember the original context of this. People just repost this with so many other things.
Have some pretty extravagant faces. So you honestly might not be that surprised that 8 of the 32 channels are in this category. These channels like to consistently put faces, whether it be their own or someone else's, in the same place time and time again. Northern Lion puts his face in the bottom left with—
Okay, the Northern Lion one makes so much sense. Holy shit. I think that might— I have not seen the rest of the video. That might be the clearest possible thumbnail out of all. Like, you don't even know— like, if I showed you this picture and asked you what channel this was from, you don't even need to know it's from Northern Lion to know exactly what that is. Holy shit.
whatever game the video features on the right. Corey Kenshin occupies the opposite corner, and his videos are usually about horror games, so his thumbnails end up being a lot darker. And then there's Nick Crowley and the Vlog Brothers, who, while having very different styles, don't consistently place their faces as much as the others. Instead, you can kind of see some more general areas where they tend to go. And then there's the Needle Drop and Penguin Z0, who—
okay. Charlie's even worse. Wait, you just have a clear picture of the background. What? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess he's been in that room long enough now that you just have a perfectly clear image of the room. Wow. Holy shit, that's actually crazy. I would not have expected any of the thumbnails to look this clear.
Only pose the same for all their thumbnails, but are in the same location every time. So we end up with this really cool amalgamation of all their slight movements, leaving a blank face for each of them. It's also pretty cool that you can easily see what does change in the backgrounds. You can see where Fantano has moved albums, or where Critical's claw machine has been used. Okay, so that's all the faces. What's that? You want to see Jay Aubrey's results?
I don't know who Jay Aubrey is. Oh! Oh! Oh, there's going to be some red arrows that appear, isn't there?
The reason I put symbols and shapes into one category is that some symbols have the same use as shapes. Daily Dose of Internet loves using this dividing line that shines through in the blended version, and in the same vein, Lazy Matman loves using this arrow symbol that serves the same purpose. Isaac Y uses this recording symbol and Discord logo, and Tom Scott grew out of this sidebar and corner thing, so it's a little less pronounced in his blended version. But the final two in this category that are actually very similar are Ryan Trahan and Ludwig. Both channels ended up being the only two that prominently featured a little symbol that housed numbers. These numbers would show what episode of a series they were.
I don't watch enough Ludwig. I didn't even realize he put like a symbol there.
On. Of course, Ryan Trahan popularized this idea, and then Ludwig, who loves to yoink and twist ideas.
Brodie, you need to run this tool on your channel. I want to see the amorphous blob of Hawaiian shirts. I have started messing around with like new thumbnails recently, but I do need to check it out for my channel.
Did the same thing.
Hello world.
Although we've seen some text in other thumbnails so far, the most prominent to me were Pianta and Numberphile. Pianta makes these beautiful MS Paint creations that I envy, but they almost always have some text on the top, which kinda resembles what happened with Kurzgesagt earlier. And then we have Numberphile, whose 13 years of using this logo led to a pretty clear cutout of it, with a bunch of noise on the right, because on that side, nothing stays consistent. Wait. That feels oddly familiar. Must have been the wind. Finally, for
logos is one I can very easily imagine being very consistent for some channels.
Logos, I came up with 9 channels that showed a consistent use of a brand identifier, whether that be an actual logo or something like this. And here's where I want to talk about the main point of this video. What makes these borders so successful? I mean, they don't even do anything at all, do they? Well, obviously...
Yes and no. They make the thumbnail... They give the thumbnail a separator from the background. That's the main thing. And having a clear border around it makes it, like, it draws the eye to it. Now, the problem is everybody does it, so it's not as useful anymore. But early on, yeah.
You can't attribute all of the money these channels made to a line of pixels around their thumbnails borders, but I'm willing to bet that it's more than you think. Thumbnail borders are like a cleaner form of slapping your logo on top to make it recognizable. But the reason I think borders are better is because they don't alienate new viewers. I think a good example where I've experienced this firsthand is Vinesauce. I am aware that people love this channel, and I'm sure I would enjoy the content, but every time I come across these thumbnails where half of the real estate is taken up by this massive logo, I simply feel like I'm not a part of the team. Anyway, let's talk about some other logo strategies that YouTubers like to employ.
Running a script on channels with minor thumbnail variations is more interesting to me. Imagine Full Side's channel. Imagine, I think I remember seeing someone on Twitter running it on Nux's channel. And, well, Nux had a clear similarity.
Vanoss Gaming has used a rainbow gradient in the background for 15 years at this point. Initially, I wasn't able to merge all the over 2,000 thumbnails on his channel because Google got mad at me, but with a little help from the Goat, I was able to fix my code and find that the majority of the time, Vanoss's rainbow background will go from yellow to purple. Now with those, honestly, cooler options out of the way, let's look at some of the actual logos, like Game Theory, who put their logo in the top right the most, either big or small, and then occasionally it ends up in the opposite corner. It's interesting though how they disproportionately leave out the bigger version of the logo in the bottom left, opting to use the small size if at all. And we can see this through the opacity of each logo. The more opaque, the more they use it. Anyway, we also have Taskmaster and then Colin and Samir, who stopped putting their...
The first time I heard about Colin and Samir, it was Ludwig being told about the channel and thinking it was a D's Nuts joke. He didn't realize the channel existed and thought it was a D's Nuts joke.
Their logo in their thumbnails years ago, so it's a little faded. And then finally, Un Mundo Inmenso, who are the undisputed champion of this category, having their logo in the exact same spot of 280 videos without any size change or variation.
How is that a D's Nuts joke? Colin and Samir, these nuts on your face?
Whatsoever. You know who I can't say the same about though?
Oh.
I have an issue with Minecraft. It's not the Hoglin hitbox. And it's not the lack of an end update, because it's actually this particular thumbnail on their official channel. At first glance, nothing seems off, even
Okay.
comparing it to their other thumbnails. I can even tell you that there's an issue with this thumbnail in the top right, and you might still not be able to notice, because honestly, I didn't either. But when I was looking at the max blend mode of Minecraft's thumbnails, I looked a little closer at this creeper face to see how many size variations they've used. And then I saw this. This is not a size variation. Let's at least compare it to their other thumbnails. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding. Okay, they literally just raised the bottom half of it by a pixel. Why? I understand the size changes, but this doesn't even give you more space. I must have discovered some sort of super niche troll by whoever made this, because how is this even possible? They moved the bottom half of it by 1 pixel without moving the bounding box or the eyes whatsoever. That has to be intentional, please. If you know better than me here, just let me know in the comments.
Oh.
The secret 6th category is reserved for just one of the 32 channels I took a look at. After 15 years, to this day, he is still as consistently inconsistent as ever. And what's cool to me about this one is that you still know a Vsauce thumbnail when you see it. After 2 years of hiatus from long-form content, he uploaded a video called All the Ghosts You Will Be. The first thing I thought when I saw the thumbnail was that Vsauce finally uploaded. I didn't have to glance at the channel name, I didn't even have to read the title. There's just something about the way that Michael packages his videos that is instantly recognizable, even if it's a picture of a chair. So when you merge all of his thumbnails into one image, you get this beautiful, completely random looking pattern of
amazing
noise. Sometimes if your videos are just that good, you can use whatever thumbnail and title combination you want. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. When I posted about this on Twitter to the tune of 400,000 likes,
yeah, that got a
lots
bit of
people were
attention.
asking
Yeah,
me to do other channels, and I want to hear your suggestions in the comments below. If you're looking to download the script, I'll get that down in the description as soon as I figure out how to put it on GitHub. Also,
so here is the script on GitHub. I might have to check it out for my channel and just see what happens.
I have a second channel now where I want to try kind of lower effort videos in between the longer uploads. For the first one, I want to try out the code on channels that you guys suggest. So go down in the comments, let me know what channels you want me to try out this code with, and then go subscribe to my second channel and expect a video soon. Thank you, Temp Teaser, for
Charlie's
being a
background is
member.
near
I'll see
perfect.
you in the next video. Bye.
Do me next. Link for the GitHub. Here's the link for the video. And the link for the GitHub is